Riverside Resort of Laughlin, Nevada. We begin our broadcast from the FabTech Dirt Pilot Race Shop in Orange, California. Hello once again, everyone. Todd Harris, along with a 21-time winner of Baja, none other than Larry Rossler, the third member of our broadcast team. Ivan Stewart will join us next month for the San Felipe 250. And Larry, let's talk about this weekend. For the fans, for the racer, it really is an extravaganza.
Absolutely, Todd. 4 days of excitement. We have Thursday night, the Laughlin Leap and the Pit Crew Challenge. Friday's a great day to get an autograph, go through contingency. We have tech inspection, buy a T-shirt. It's a great fun day. And then serious day is Saturday and Sunday. We got racing. Now, the race course this year, 12.6 miles. We have a short course infield section, like a stadium, for jumps and excitement, but it heads out into the desert section. Now, a little bit of a twist this year. They're going to run the course clockwise. Well,
it should be interesting. I know a lot of folks turning out to see if Larry Rossler's record of 140 feet, 4 inches can be broken, and the Pit Crew Challenge. What do you think this year? Is the record going to fall?
Well, really at the mercy of the track builder. You know, if they build the ramp larger or give the drivers a longer a lead to the jump, they'll definitely beat that record. Last year, Tim was 103 feet. Dale Everts with his team, they did 45 seconds, 4 tires. So he's here to defend his title. And both events are sponsored by the Laughlin Tourism Committee. And they bring in $25,000 for the winners.
And here's our first Pit Crew Challenge team, Jerry Penhall and crew. There's $3,000 cash up to the winner. Remember, it's all 4 tires changed, kind of like NASCAR style.
Todd, it's real exciting. You know, Thursday night, everybody gets an opportunity to change 4 tires, win $3,000. We had the Herbst right there, Rob Reinertson, Rick Johnson team. You can see they're being pretty careful here, but, try not to make any mistakes.
A lot of pride on the line. You can see the guys are getting really jacked up. They come in 2 by 2, and then the crews go to work on them.
This is Collins and Jason Cobb. So 2 at a time makes it a little more exciting for the spectators.
And a little bit of a disadvantage when a vehicle like this rolls in because the tires are so much bigger.
Well, these tires are very heavy. This is the Herbst team here, Tim and Ed. 1 minute and 4 seconds to change 4 tires.
And then the always famous Laughlin Leap. Larry, I know you know a little bit about this.
Yeah, this George Seeley here. Yeah, it's Thursday night, same thing, same evening.
Mike Koenig.
And it's exciting for the spectators. You see these vehicles just fly through the air.
It's amazing what they can do and the distance they can get.
This is Dale Don Dale. I think, wow, is really nice.
Brian Collins.
119 feet. That's the Herbst, 119 feet, 4 inches.
Well, that's amazing. Everyone pretty happy. Jerry Penhall wins the open wheel Pit Crew Challenge in 48.3 seconds. Tim Herbst wins the truck division of the Pit Crew Challenge in 104.52. And Rick Taylor had a jump of 100 feet, 5 inches for the light truck division. Chris Harold sailed 97 feet, 5 inches for the open wheel class win. Dale Dondell was the overall and unlimited division winner with a jump of 120 feet. All of them $3,000 richer. We'll be back with more right after this. Welcome back to Laughlin, Nevada for the 7th running of the SCORE Laughlin Desert Challenge and the first race of the 2001 Duralast Point Series. Todd Harris along with Larry Rossler, and contingency, as always, is the place to be on Friday as the entries get tech for Saturday and Sunday action. Let's take a moment and hear from Harris Laughlin VP of Operations, Bill Keena.
The fans love it. The racers love it. I think this has got to be one of the best stops on the racing circuit for the SCORE Desert Series, and we love having them here, and it's just a great show that Sal puts on here. The fans are loving the jumps, the Laughlin Leap. The Thursday night they do the who can jump the farthest and the Pit Crew Championship. The fans come out for that and love it. The fans were full Thursday night. The stands were full Thursday night. And great racing action that you see on Saturday and Sunday. And it's the format that that Sal put together here is unique, where you get to whoever finished first on Saturday comes and starts in the back, and you get full day racing Sunday. So it's just a great event for the market.
The start and finish are here in the stadium area. The course then runs out to the base of those mountains, the El Dorado Range, then parallels Highway 163 back to the pits to the infield and the start-finish. As Larry said, it's 12.6 miles, and they'll cover it 8 times total during the 2 days of racing. The pits line the course as it heads to the infield. Now let's hear from Class 1.
Oh, you got to be 100% all the time as fast as you can go. Try to remember where the bad spots are. If you slow down just for a second, make a mistake, these guys will get you quick. You don't have any time.
Well, strategy race like this is pretty much flat out. No time for letting off. You just have to run 100% all the time.
The race today it's just flat out. We only get to go 4 laps. Unfortunately, we're a little under horsepowered for this course. It's really fast. We're just going to try to you know, hold them off as long as we can.
The course is great. It's awesome. It's fast. It's got some rough to it, and it's real competitive out there. All these cars have so much power now that we're real evenly matched.
You've got to keep the pace up hard all the time. There's no holding back. You've got to stand on it whenever you can. You got to be smart, take some good lines. There's a few different lines out here that can make up some time, I think, and I'm going to work on those today.
It's pretty tough out here. 11-mile course, and it's really rough, and it's a full sprint. There's no settling down. There's no relaxation. It's just drive as hard and as fast as you can and just hold on.
They start 2 at a time, and pulling the whole shot is Robert Wood up from Arizona going against Rob Parsons from State Line, Nevada. This is 109 and 118, Chuck Hovey, Escondido, California. He picks up the whole shot on Josh Waddell from Holtville, California, as we go on board with Chuck Hovey, the Off-Road Warehouse sponsored entry, Type 4 VW-powered race car.
Todd, this is real exciting for us. I mean, you can see there's water conditions here. Usually it's one car every 30 seconds or maybe one every minute in really dusty conditions.
Brian Brown, 124, going head-to-head with John Courier, and Brown will get the jump on Courier on this one. And this is Jeff Quinn in the yellow car going head-to-head with Ronnie Wilson, 42, out of Long Beach, California.
Like I mentioned, you know, usually there's dust, and here they are, great competition. You got Ronnie Wilson on the outside. He's going to make the pass here.
Ronnie Wilson gets by Jeff Quinn as they head into the first turn. Those two Jimcos very evenly matched.
And like I mentioned before, it's 12.6 miles around. These guys are going to be going all out. No pacing themselves. And this is an inverted start position from Saturday's results.
And that's what the fans turn out for, the big air and the tight racing. And this is 106 and 105, Pat Dean, Las Vegas. And Steve Serapis, and I don't know if he hit the wrong gear or what there. It looked like he had it in R.
It looked like he had reverse. Maybe just a little excited on the start line.
Dale Dondell from Hemet, California on the far side. And wow, he gets the jump on Troy Herbst, which doesn't happen a lot. Troy finished second in Saturday's 4-lap heat, and Dondell, the leap winner, finished third.
Well, Todd, this is exciting. You know, Dondell is relatively, as far as I know, it's a new car. He's got 600 horsepower, 2,500 pounds lighter than the Truggy that has 700 horsepower. And remember, this is an inverted start position from Saturday's results, and here he is holding them off.
That's an ominous position with the shark breathing down the back of your neck with all that horsepower. Looking very good right now. As we go back to the start line, our next set ready to take off. It'll be 115 and 116. Tim Scalzo, San Juan Capistrano near side. John Herder, 31 out of Tucson. Pair of Chevy-powered Truggies.
The word Truggy, now that's been sort of a Herbst thing only, and now we're seeing 1 and 2 finishing on Saturday. Remember, Herder, he won the day by 3 seconds only.
We'll be back with more from Laughlin right after this. Dean out of Las Vegas, Nevada, the Chevy V6-powered Cheneth finished 5th on Saturday.
Yeah, it looks like Pat's driving hard.
Here's Steve Serapis. We saw him in reverse earlier. He's got it going now at Rancho Santa Fe, California, the V6 Chevy-powered Jimco. And here's Troy Herbst, finished second to John Herder on Saturday, just 3 seconds down. But, you know, the way he's driving today, I don't know, that rig just looks and sounds so good.
Well, I think that 3 seconds might have set him a little bit because I think he's trying to get some revenge.
Tim Scalzo, he's being chased by John Herder.
You know, and Tim, fantastic drive for him on Saturday also.
Again, a pair of Chevy V8-powered Truggies. There's Troy Herbst, and he's on the move.
Well, like we mentioned, he's had to start behind everybody, and he's definitely on a mission. I mean,
Look at that. The speed just passing like they're standing still. Goes past Steve Serapis and Pat Dean.
In the past, this section here, we've had blinding dust where you just could not go nowhere near the speeds you'd like to go. And with a little bit of moisture on the ground, it's definitely helped.
Well, you mean you need a lot of dust with this inverted format for Herbst and Herder, but it doesn't seem like the dust is really bothering Troy Herbst. I don't know if he has a new goggle out or something, but he is absolutely cutting through this like no problem. He makes yet another pass, and this is amazing, the number of passes he's made thus far.
Well, he mentioned earlier, a race of this length, there is no pacing yourself. It's going to be all out.
And he's just relentless. Do you just give up and say, you know, he's eventually just going to wear me down, might as well just get it over with? Troy Herbst now passing Jeff Quinn, making that look easy.
But look at the suspension. You see the shocks working those arms, the rear trailing arms. I mean, close to 36 inches of wheel travel, I think. Maybe even close to 40 inches of wheel travel in the rear, using every bit of it.
And he gets past Ronnie Wilson. So what is that, 5, 6 passes he's already taken place in the first lap?
This is towards the end of the loop, coming back towards the pits, towards the infield. And lucky enough, the wind is actually pushing the dust off to the side.
So he's chosen the left side, and I guess with his suspension, he can afford to do that.
Well, he's just trying to keep in clean air. And as you can see, he's not only was he in clean air, but he has the speed and the momentum just to make another pass.
You speak of the speed, this is no fluke. On Saturday, the Herbsts were clocked at 95 miles an hour down this section. Here's Chuck Hovey with the entire field chasing him as he heads into the infield. Robert Wood out of Buckeye, Arizona, and then Troy Herbst. He's passed everyone now except Hovey and Wood, and this will be great for the fans who have turned out in the infield. And we'll probably see some action here. They don't even have to venture too far away from their hotel to watch some great racing.
Well, Todd, you mentioned that, the hotels. I mean, literally, you can walk from the hotels right to the pit area. It's great for the spectators.
Chuck Hovey coming into the infield with the entire field chasing him. None other than the big shark coming around that corner. Robert Wood, Buckeye, Arizona as well.
Well, like we mentioned, it didn't take long.
Yet another pass for Troy Herbst. So we go on board the Herbst vehicle. Only Chuck Hovey out in front of him, and Chuck's approaching the Laughlin leap. Let's see how he takes this one. And here's the leap of Chuck Hovey. Kind of noses that one in, but look at the speed that Troy Herbst is carrying this thing.
Well, you got to remember, Chuck's vehicle is only about 160, 180 horsepower, maybe.
As Steve Serapis crosses the start-finish. Brian Brown leads Ronnie Wilson as they head over the infield's Laughlin leap. And this is John Herder out of Tucson, Arizona, chasing Jeff Quinn. And it'll be Troy Herbst who heads out of the spectator area first, now leading the pack. We'll be back with more Class 1 action from Laughlin, Nevada after this short break. You're watching the 2001 Speed Vision Desert Racing Series. Welcome back to Laughlin, Nevada. That is Troy Herbst literally flying through the Nevada desert. Todd Harris along with Larry Rossler, and so far so good for the Herbst brothers, Larry.
Well, that was a fantastic shot of him flying through the air. Actually, it sounds like the RPMs are real high.
And what does that indicate?
Well,
He's not gaining.
That's a transmission problem. That's definitely a transmission problem.
We'll check back with the Herbst brothers. Steve Serapis and the Corona Jimco passing a slowing Troy Herbst. And you might be right. It might be the transmission. He is absolutely slowing down as opposed to the pace he was keeping earlier. So Steve Serapis having an auspicious start, starting in reverse, back on course and running and getting past the Herbst.
Well, here we have 122, 116, and 103. Robert Wood is right ahead of John Herder and then Ronnie Wilson.
This is some great racing right here. Now, this is a flat section, so they can really open it up here, right?
Well, those big holes, we jump on this road, and, yeah, it's a good section to make a pass on, to get out of each other's roost, just like John did.
So Herder passes Wood. And we go back to the Wilson vehicle. That's Ronnie Wilson getting ready to make a pass, and you can see Troy Herbst has pulled over, and everyone's pretty much passing them right now.
If it's a transmission problem, he just needs to try to assess it and keep the temperatures down and just nurse it along. It's a true test of not only on suspension, but, you know, transmission and drivetrain, spindles, the wheels, tires.
Robert Wood filling in for Sick Ruben Wood. He's going to get passed by Brian Brown of Tucson, Arizona, in the Toyota V6 powered Jimco. Now, Wood's car seems a little bit spongy in that back end.
You know, you could see that. See how it just looked real boingy, real spongy looking? So the shock absorber is probably either broke or extremely overheated.
Troy Herbst still up and running, and looks like he's going to sneak in the inside of Robert Wood.
Well, he's giving it a go. He's not giving up, that's for sure.
Now, here's a great story. Chuck Hovey, certainly down on horsepowers, but he is leading right now as he brings him back into the infield. And what a great story. I guess you got to give a lot of credit to his driving and being able to handle this terrain.
Absolutely, Todd. He's 180 horsepower. He has the least amount of horsepower of anybody else in his class.
Ronnie Wilson out of Long Beach, California, running second on the course, top 5 overall. And that's Steve Serapis, who won the 2000 Score Las Vegas Prim 300. I'll tell you what, everyone sounds pretty good despite the terrain, other than the Herbst.
This is Brian Brown running 4th on the course. I mean, everybody's running hard. The motors are sounding good. I think it's probably just harder on the actual drivetrain and other components.
My shifter just broke off.
Wow, perfect example.
My shifter.
So this is Chuck Hovey.
Well, Chuck Hovey calling it a day after 2 great laps. So Chuck Hovey pulls it in. Ronnie Wilson leading Jeff Quinn through the infield.
We got Steve Serapis chasing Ronnie Wilson and Jeff Quinn.
Tell you what, certainly worth the price of admission if you just came for the infield action.
This is a little bit of bad news here. It looks like John Herter having some steering problems.
Either that or he had too much to drink for breakfast, because he is all over the course right now. Look at that. The steering just shot on this, Larry?
Well, there's a lot of little Heims, and yeah, he's definitely, you know, definitely steering related. There's a lot of components in the steering. Troy Herbst getting around him.
Troy Herbst, certainly not the picture of clean running today. He had a great first lap, transmission problems on the second lap as the herders try to nurse this around.
Well, here's Dale Don Dale on the right here. And remember, he was the Laughlin Leap winner. Troy Herbst right behind him.
Well, whatever they have left, they're sure running that hard. And this is Josh Waddell. And he looks great. I don't want to jinx him, but he looks good.
He's in an Acura-powered Cheneth Millennium. He's running 7th.
Josh Waddell tearing up the course right now in his vehicle. And Ronnie Wilson heads for the pits with a flat. He was running with the leaders. You're watching the Score Laughlin Desert Challenge. Stay tuned for the Class 1 finish after this. Welcome back. To be Steve Serapis from Rancho Santa Fe, California. Now, Larry attrition's been a big factor today. Steve now leads Jeff Quinn. But remember, combined time over the 2 heats determines the winner.
That's right, Todd. You know, he's been really consistent, running strong, right in the middle of everybody both days, and he's going to come out with the win, it looks like.
Jeff Quinn, owner of McKenzie's Off-Road Center, running 2nd on the course and appears to be running 2nd on time as well. He's had a good run today.
Here he is, running 2nd. Well, here's the leader.
Yeah, Steve Serapis heading into the infield short course section and the finish, 1st on course and 1st on time. And, you know, it's funny, we talked about Steve Serapis. This is the guy that we saw at the start line, started in reverse, had it in the wrong gear to start with. So it's amazing. All you youngsters at home, remember, doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish.
Well, Jeff Quinn running 2nd overall. Car still looks good, sounds good.
Nice finish for him. And here comes the Class 1 winner, Steve Serapis. He finished 4th in yesterday's 4-lap heat and tops the field today. His official time, 1 hour, 45 minutes and 6 seconds, a 55-mile-an-hour average, a great win. Let's take a moment and hear from Steve Serapis.
You know, I really don't know, because I had 2 minutes. They had 2 minutes on me starting the day. So I really, once I got out in front, I figured Herbst would be coming. I really didn't know what was wrong. I knew Herter would probably have problems, but it just seemed like everybody faded and our car didn't.
And the Class 1 results are official. The top 5 look like this. In first place, number 106, Steve Serapis out of Rancho Santa Fe, California. 1 hour, 45 minutes and 6 seconds, 55.262 miles per hour. Second was Jeff Quinn. In third, Troy Herbst. In fourth, Ronnie Wilson. And in fifth, Robert Wood from Buckeye, Arizona. Class 1 to 1600 had 30 entries. And here's Brian Freeman, 21 years of age, leading Kevin Graves from El Cajon, California.
Dale Everett from Canyon Lake, California, in his Cheneth.
This is 1620 Mike Malloy, 22 years of age, out of Burbank, California.
This is Steve Roberts, local guy from Laughlin, and he's being pressured by Brian Logan.
Brian Freeman, 21 years of age, out of Henderson, Nevada, just outside of Las Vegas.
Here's a familiar face in off-road racing, Rob McCachran. Now remember, this is a 1-2-1600 class. It's a single seat or a two-seater, but 1600cc motors.
And this is Adam Fankuch, just 19 years of age, Saturday's 4-lap heat winner. After today's heat, the top 5 look like this. In first, Rob McCachran out of Las Vegas, Nevada, with a time of 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 1 second. In second, Adam Fankuch from Carlsbad, California. In third, Brian Freeman. In fourth, Dale Eberts. And in fifth, Brian Logan out of Buena Park, California. Class 10 had another big field with 25 starters, and here's the Brookshire brothers, Ron and Travis, making a turn at the far end of the course.
Danny Anderson from Las Vegas running a new fat-built aluminum silica motor. It's reported 10% more horsepower.
Number 1007, Charles Laughlin, 29 years of age, out of Tucson, Arizona, in the Honda-powered Jimco.
And here we have 1012 and 1019. It's Don Hatch from Brea, California, being chased by Rick Ellison in a Honda Jimco versus Honda Chenef.
Here's a guy we usually see in Class 1, Gary Wise, 40 years of age, out of Hagerman, Idaho, running a small motor for Class 10 this weekend. And here's the 2000 score Class 10 champion, Mark Hutchins, heading for the finish, and the top 5 look like this. Danny Anderson in Las Vegas, Nevada, with a time of 1 hour, 56 minutes and 29 seconds, 49.861 miles per hour. In second, Ron and Travis Brookshire. In third, Gary Wise. In fourth, Dan Myers from Newport Beach, California. And in fifth, Mark Hutchins from Henderson, Nevada. More than 180 entries are here this weekend as the Duralast Desert Racing Series kicks off another season here on Speed Vision. Stay tuned. The trucks are up next. Welcome back to the first race of the 2001 Desert Racing Series, the 7th annual Laughlin Desert Challenge. Now let's hear from the classes 7 and 7S.
Yesterday I jumped out of the gate pretty quick. The first lap was pretty quick, and today I'm going to take it a little bit easier. It's going to be a little bit choppier out there, but you know, the Fab Tech third-pilot Ford Ranger, I think, could handle the mission, and that was working awesome yesterday. You know, you can't beat this hot rod. Just keeps going and going.
Yeah, my brother was driving. He had a really good day, a lot of competition. It was really close. I got to start at the back right now and try and work our way up to the front. We'll see what happens.
And now the Unlimited Light Truck start. It's Tim Carroll getting the whole shot on Scott Sells. It's Ford Ranger against Toyota Tacoma.
This is Craig Turner up against Mike Becker on the far side.
And the Hardens starting last because, Larry, they won on Saturday.
They won on Saturday, so they're going to be playing catch-up today.
We have the inverted start. Scott Sells, 37 years of age, out of Wildemar, California, in the Toyota Tacoma. I know you like that vehicle.
Craig Turner right there, a little bit of dust. This is Tim Carroll from Long Beach in his Ford Ranger.
And 722, Class 7S, Mike Koenig, 26 of Sacramento in the Toyota. Moving on to the Harden brothers. Now, Saturday's Class 7S heat winner was the Harden brothers, and Jared was driving. Today we've got Eric at the wheel.
Number 731, Joel Stankovich from Barstow, California in a Ford Ranger.
The Ford Ranger seems to be a pretty popular car in this class as Scott Sells comes through in his Toyota Tacoma. But here's Craig Turner, and his Ranger was built by none other than Kurt Leduc.
And Kurt Leduc, we know he's built really good pre-runners, trophy trucks. Basically, Craig's truck is just a miniature trophy truck.
This is 707, Tim Carroll, and yet another Ford Ranger flying through.
You know, we've talked about Ford Rangers being a lot of them. You can see the I-beam front end. It's real easy to get wheel travel out of that design.
Tim Carroll working in the desert here. So far, so good for him. This is Rick Taylor, 33 years of age, out of Brawley, California, and another Ford Ranger.
Well, remember, Rick won the Leap on Thursday in his Ranger. He took home the $3,000.
Built Ford tough. Eric Harden in the GMC Sonoma. A big day on Saturday, trying to make the repeat again. Remember, we talked about the inverted start. They're going last, so they got a lot of work to go. This is Dan Fresh, 33, out of San Juan Capistrano, California, in the Jeep Comanche.
Well, also remember, 7S is a stock class, and 7 is unlimited.
Joel Stankovich, Ford Ranger. There are 14 entries in the 7S field, so it's a good turnout. Tim Carroll being chased by 705 Craig Turner as they cross the start-finish and head out for another 12.6-mile lap.
14 entries, that's an excellent turnout for this event. It's good action.
Scott Sells running third in Class 7, finished third in yesterday's heat. Good performance by him. 728 and 724, Eric Harden.
Looks like he's going to try to put the move on him.
Tim Braden from Chatsworth, California, trying to hold Harden off, and Harden closes the door and makes it stick. Class 7 had just one finisher. Positions 2 through 5 were determined by laps completed. In first, Scott Sells out of Wildemar, California. In second, Craig Turner. In third, Tim Carroll. In fourth, Ron Smith. And in fifth, Michael Becker from Los Angeles, California. The Class 7S results, stock light truck looked like this. In first, Joel Stankovich from Barstow, California. In second, Dan Fresh from San Juan Capistrano. In third, Michael Coleman from La Jolla. In fourth, Rick Long. And in fifth, Kevin Davis. Next on course, more truck action. Stay tuned. You're watching the 2001 SCORE Laughlin Desert Challenge from Laughlin, Nevada. We'll be right back with the start after this. Welcome back to Laughlin, Nevada. That's the infield short course section of this 12.6-mile track, and it runs up to the base of those mountains. Now let's hear from the drivers before the final 4-lap unlimited truck heat.
You know, Dan did a good job. We lost transmission yesterday. We're going to just go out there and run as hard as we can, because that's the nature of this particular event. You have to run hard and hope that maybe today somebody else will have some of the same problems we had yesterday, and the combined time will end up giving us a win. So we'll run hard and see what happens.
You know, it's the first race of the year, and we're going to go for a championship this year. So we're just going to hang in there and try to get some points and not push it too hard, and just have a good time. We're just out here to have some fun.
Oh, I love it. I love the intensity of it. A little bit nervous. I was a little nervous last night. Had a hard time sleeping, you know. Just the race is so intense. And then the truck, all these trucks being equal, the competition just amazing. But I was real happy what we did yesterday. Right now we're currently tied for third. We're right on the same second. It's amazing.
We love racing here at Laughlin. We love the fans. The course is just getting rougher and rougher and rougher. You know, I don't know if it can get any rougher, and then we go another lap and it's twice as bad as it was the first time. So, you know, this PartsAmerica.com truck just soaks everything up so well. These BF Goodrich tires never let us down. We're going right to the front. So hopefully we have a little better day than we had yesterday.
And now the unlimited truck starting. That's Dave Ashley getting a big jump on Mark Post, who is driving his pre-runner, but that's no ordinary pre-runner. Electric windows, AC, CD player. We're talking luxury edition.
Well, he didn't want to miss out on the valuable points for the season, so there he is in his pre-runner.
Josh Baldwin, far lane, winning the drag race to the first turn. He is going head-to-head with Brian Collins. Now, the Baldwins finished third in the first heat. Collins finished fourth. So a great day of racing by both families. We go on board with Josh Baldwin, who'll be driving today out of Irvine, California. His father, Jim, drove the first heat and finished a strong third place.
That's a very impressive finish for Jim Baldwin. You know, he loves the sport, and I don't think he has a lot of seat time in these trophy trucks, a lot of horsepower, a lot of wheel travel.
This is Tim Herbst and Lonnie Hembolt. Hembolt on the inside. Herbst absolutely blows him away, but Hembolt ran great in that first heat, second place, but hurt the motor. It's only running on 7 cylinders, and that's going to be a problem today.
Well, that was very obvious with that start. That's why he was lagging a little bit there. But again, he wants to finish and stay in the points chase.
Speaking of the first heat, Ed drove the first heat for the Herbst and finished first, averaging right at 60 miles an hour on this course, Larry. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, 60 mile an hour. I mean, look at these corners here. They can only go 30, 40 miles an hour, so they're going well over 100 in other places.
Dave Ashley, 43, out of San Bernardino, California. And that vehicle won the Baja 2000, so you know it's got what it takes under the hood.
Well, we're calling it an experimental overhead cam engine, 600 horsepower, but it's already well proven in winning a lot of races.
No question. This is Brian Collins. He is chasing Josh Baldwin, who comes in high on that dirt berm, and I think
oh boy,
a little too high.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a lot of equipment high-centered right there. It's going to take a while for him to get out of there.
No question. This is Tim Herbst negotiating the 1-mile infield. As we pointed out, Ed won the heat yesterday. And, you know, with the Herbst, it's all interchangeable. You got Ed, Tim, Troy, whoever you want to throw in there. They've got the vehicles, they've got the seat time, they've got the experience. They're just great all-around drivers.
You're right. They got a lot of experience, and they've won a lot of races. They're doing an excellent job out there.
This is the Pro Truck start. It looks like Steve Olligus is going to be behind on this one as they go into that first berm. 227 and 200. Steve Scaroni gets the jump on Ryan Herzog. And it seems like, Larry, that inside lane makes a big difference. Is that even a possibility?
Well, it's a possibility. It's hard to tell from our angle, but, you know, the traction definitely could be better there.
Well, this happened earlier in the racing yesterday. Rob Reinertson saw this bit of masterful driving by Steve Scaroni in yesterday's heat. And I tell you what, he's doing something right. He's got some good karma there.
Well, that's what we call bicycling, and that was a great job in saving that. He had to steer out of it to drop the truck back down.
Rob Reinertson and Richard Hoffman. And that inside lane, once again. I'm telling you, if I'm the next guy to go, I'm going to swap. I want the inside lane.
Well, we're on board with Rob Reinertson here. This is his first Pro Truck entry, you know, event that he's taken on by himself. He bought it from Rick Johnson, which was previous class champion.
Here's a real race. Scott Steinberger, near lane, and Steve Barlow.
Well, Steinberger and Barlow. Now, those two names that are look like they're already banging fenders.
Lycos and Red Bull going at it early. Save something for the course, folks. And Jason Cobb, 30 out of Glendale, Arizona. PartsAmerica.com. Ford F-150. And we've got a slight breeze blowing through the infield, but we talked about this infield. It's great for the racers and the competitors and the folks that came out to watch it because they've watered it down. So it's a great place to watch a race.
Well, just right there, you could see in the off to the left, there were some bleachers, spectators. On the other end of the course, there's this big bank. A lot of spectators can just get a great visual of this infield.
Jason Cobb going over that jump with one hand. Impressive. Josh Baldwin was high-centered in the infield for quite a while, but finally he is back in the action, but a long way back of the unlimited truck field. I'm sure he feels better now that he's got that vehicle unwedged. Think he heard about it from his dad?
I'm sure he'll hear about it later.
And here's our leader on the course, Dave Ashley. Todd Harris along with Larry Rossler, and we'll be right back with more truck action from Laughlin, Nevada in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to the truck action from Laughlin, Nevada, and here's Dave Ashley, winner of the Baja 2000, leading the field. We're up against the mountains you saw from the helicopter, and they make the turn here and then head back to the infield. And so far, so good. I don't want to jinx them, but for Dave Ashley's vehicle, it's looking pretty good.
Well, they're running strong today, Todd. This is like a bowl we drop into this back section. Just up ahead here, it's really rough, big holes. Remember, we're running backwards from years past.
Right. Brian Collins, 38, out of Las Vegas, Nevada. The 3-seat Silverado, 740 horsepower.
Tim Herbst, this is the four-wheel drive vehicle they've been running now for a while. It's an F-150, 700 horsepower.
A lot of power there. This is Mark Post, 42 years of age, out of Laguna Hills. This is Mark's pre-run of the race. Truck was under the knife, so for the points, Mark and Jerry Welchel drove this. It's got air, power windows, CD player, the whole thing. And on a day like today when it's so windy and so cold, they got the windows up, probably enjoying the air conditioning and a nice CD.
Well, either the AC's on or the heater's on. Look, did you see that tire go by?
Right past Collins' vehicle.
That potentially dangerous situation there.
Look at it one more time as he comes up to this road crossing just out of nowhere.
Wow.
And you figure that's got to have, it must have come off Ashley's vehicle, the speed it's moving.
Well, Ashley's directly in front of him. It had to have been. Pro truck leader Rob Reinertson from Woodside, California. Now, this is the first ever pro truck built. This truck has won Ivan Stewart's Pro Truck Series the last 3 years with Rick Johnson driving it.
On board with Rob Reinertson. Rob drove in Class 7S last year, so this is a big jump in speed. Tied for third in the first heat. This is Steve Barlow, someone he knows quite well, 36 out of Temecula, California, second in the first 48.4-mile four-lap heat. And this is the sprint all the way. He's in the Red Bull vehicle.
Well, if you followed any of our other races, those two names have definitely been up towards the front each time.
Josh Baldwin off the berm and charging in only 48.4 miles of racing. It's hard to catch up. You got to hope there's some breakage, I guess, up front. I'm sure he's going to hear about that berm from the rest of his friends and family.
Well, this short of race, he's not going to make up any time, but he just needs to right now to settle in and just get a good finish in.
Now, the racers are reporting that this is the roughest course ever. They usually run it counterclockwise, but as you pointed out, Larry, we reversed it this year. And how big of a difference does that make as we take a look at Tim Herbst?
Well, the bumps form as we race year after year. Now we're going over them backwards, so they're going to have a different shape to them. It's going to kick the vehicle a little bit more. Some places might be smoother, some places definitely going to be rougher.
So basically you're going against the grain this year.
Absolutely, that's exactly what it is.
The Herbst Ford won the first heat with Ed driving. Now Tim's at the wheel, and this vehicle it just takes the punishment. I think this vehicle maybe, against all the other ones, handles the punishment better than any other.
Well, they've definitely proved that their vehicles handle well. Great action here. We got Duralast truck and Brian Collins right on his tail. Something flopping in the breeze there on the driver's side.
We got a good battle going here with Ashley and Collins, as you pointed out, on that left side on the white truck. Is that a back quarter panel or something?
It looks like it's just fiberglass. If it's only fiberglass, there's no worry. If it's suspension components, then that could definitely be a problem.
Well, Dave Ashley leading them in. They are coming in very hot. Now this is where they're coming kind of out of the bowl back into the infield.
Well, this is downhill back towards the infield. And remember earlier we reported 97-mile-an-hour speeds out of the Class 1s. These vehicles are getting every bit of that.
So you've got Ashley, Collins, and Herbst. They're all flying back in the infield, and this is what the folks came out to see. A great tight race with 3 class acts bringing it in the infield. And they got to slow it down just a little bit, but I don't think they're going to back off too much.
No, I don't think you're going to see anybody giving up anything here. I mean, they all want bragging rights. You know, maybe they had little problems on Saturday, but you still want to come out and win on Sunday.
Ashley, Collins, and Herbst all into the infield now, and the Herbst running very fast. Now, is this a situation where you're not really going to be able to pass anyone in the infield, or can you make a pass, for example, on the Laughlin leap?
No, this would definitely be a place where you try to pass. You know, dust is not an issue. The course is pretty wide. Looks like they're holding their same distance, though.
As we look at the Herbst as they come up on the leap, you'd never know they just launched some 100 feet, as smooth as that landing was. Ashley's still out in front. Now, how long of a section is this on the infield? How much time will they spend in the infield, like exact miles?
Well, it's only, you know, it'll be probably less than 2 minutes. It's not very, time-wise, it's not very long.
But I'm sure it breaks up the monotony for a driver. They get a chance to spin the wheels a little bit more, a little softer dirt. It's been wetted down, the jumps. This is Jason Cobb. Now, Jason Cobb is leading this heat on the clock, so he is having a great run. Yesterday they had problems, but today it looks like they've got it all worked out, and he really likes driving with that one hand and no glove.
Well, you can see he's got one hand on the shifter. Surprisingly enough, the steering is so good on these vehicles. You really can drive pretty much one-handed.
He takes a look over his right shoulder. And he's probably got to know, and he's hearing from his pits, that he's having a great run thus far.
Absolutely. You know, and he's, like you said, he's leading on time. He wants to finish Sunday knowing that he beat everybody.
Rob Reinertson and Steve Barlow getting together. We'll see what happens here. Wow.
Well, Reinertson surprisingly gets by Barlow. Now, he has a little bit of a cushion to work with, but 45 seconds, I believe, from Saturday's heat, that's not a whole lot of cushion.
Not a lot indeed. A real battle going on here in the Pro Truck Division. You're watching Speed Vision and the 7th Annual Score Laughlin Desert Challenge. From the resort of Laughlin, Nevada, we'll be back right after this short break. Welcome back. We've got Dave Ashley trying to make up 1 minute and 8 seconds on Brian Collins here on the final lap. His truck is looking a bit ragged, but it's nothing compared to Brian Collins' truck. It is all but disintegrated, Larry.
Todd, look at this. I mean, I guarantee he doesn't know what's falling apart behind him, but there's shock reservoirs, there's fuel spigots. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Look at that.
Collins just trying to limp across the finish line and hold on to that lead. Meanwhile, the Herbst out in the desert, they're trying to get the finish line. And look at this. Someone forgot to latch down the hood or something, but their hood is gone.
Well, word is they're having a fuel pickup problem, vapor locking maybe, and apparently they didn't get the hood latched down.
We've got all kinds of problems. Look at that. On the co-driver's side, his net's not even latched in.
Don't let the safety officials see that.
Unbelievable. Well, here comes a refreshing sight. Rob Reinertson, probably the only truck out here right now that's got all its parts still. And this is what's amazing. Only the second time he's raced a pro truck. He's got to be encouraged by these results.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's Steve Barlow in the Red Bull truck. Now, he was 55 seconds ahead of Reinertson going into the final lap.
And Jason Cobb out of Glendale, Arizona, DNF'd in the first heat, but he's having a great run today, leading the field on the clock. He's got to be encouraged.
It's always great to finish on a good note, you know, finish on a high note.
Dave Ashley heading into the infield, still out in front, but the question is by how much, and his back end a little loose. But as we pointed out, nothing compared to the Collins vehicle. This truck has seen it all today, completely battered. I don't think he can go another lap.
I don't think he could either. That's really hilarious.
Well, the story is Ashley trying to make up that 1 minute and 8 seconds on Brian Collins. The big story is, can Brian Collins make it to the finish line in that truck? Meanwhile, Mark Post now running third on the course. Well, first across the finish line is Dave Ashley. Now, we'll have to wait and see for Brian Collins to make any official call. Brian was 1 minute and 8 seconds up on Ashley starting the heat. And here's Collins, and he stops the clock at 1:49.05, so it's official. Collins takes it by 41 seconds. That is an amazing piece of racing.
We lost the motor yesterday, and when I was driving in, I was taking it easy. We just wanted to get the truck around. I was concerned I didn't want to sit there and, you know, tear up a $40,000 motor. So Shaver last night and his computer guy went through, did all their work they could, try to get it to run with really no help at all. So
Ron told me, he goes, look, the motor's fine.
It's a beater. But I know the other guys did one great job, you know, driving today. So it was fun. I had a lot of fun.
Pushed the truck to the limit the whole time. And a few mistakes, but we were able to recover from them.
We were hoping Scott would, you know, be there to the end, but he had a little bit of trouble, so it kind of just gave us a chance. All we had to do was run our laps, and we had it, and we knew it, you know.
The official unlimited truck results look like this. In first, Brian Collins out of Las Vegas, Nevada, with a time of 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 2 seconds, 53.244 miles per hour average. In second, it was Dave Ashley and Dan Smith. Third, Mark Post. In fourth, Ed and Tim Herbst. And in fifth, Jim and Josh Baldwin. The official pro truck results. Steve Barlow wins it out of Temecula, California, with a time of 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 25 seconds.